Today I'd like to share with you a framework which I think really helps better identify ways in which narcissists manipulate us, gaslight us, confuse us. And once you see this, it should be easier to avoid getting sucked into the argument, to avoid getting confused, trapped, and tricked, and just simply not engage with them anymore. If you're ready, let's jump in. The concept I came across is called the locus of control. This is used by psychologists to understand ways in which people see events that happen in their life. Some people focus on the responsibility they have in the events, and that is called having an internal locus of control. And other people focus on the parts that are not under their control, and they view events as being things that happen to them. And these are individuals with an external locus of control. As you can understand, of course, this is a scale, a spectrum, with two extremes, purely internal, purely external, and most people are somewhere along the two. I'm guessing most people are somewhere close to the middle, but with a slight tilt onto one side or another side. Using this, we can identify three ways in which narcissists operate in a toxic manner and avoid falling for their trap. On the one hand, they can be selling a worldview that says that things are only external. If things are only external, people don't have power. People can't control anything. And if we can't control anything, we're more likely to hand control over to someone else. And who are the people who want control in other people's lives? Yes, probably narcissists. People who want to manipulate others, and using this worldview as a way of grooming people and preparing them to be abused. I'd like to augment this model by separating between two types of events. We have the positive events that happen to us, and then we have the negative events that happen to us. If we are being coherent, and we are roughly on the internal side, then we'll be on the internal side, whether the events are positive or negative. And likewise, if we're being coherent and we have an external view, we'll be on the external side for positive or negative events, if we're being coherent. Narcissists, of course, are not really coherent, unless they are saying that everything is on the external side. Otherwise, their thinking will be asymmetric, and this asymmetry can be confusing. When it comes to other people, they will have a tendency of saying, whatever good things happen to you are due to external factors. So you've got no merit in anything good that happens. But whatever is bad that happens to you is only due to yourself. You are the only one to blame, and they will use this to guilt trip you and make you feel bad. The goal here, of course, being that you give away responsibility to the external side so that they can take more responsibility. This is a way of knocking you down, removing your merits, and at the same time blaming you. Conversely, they'll use the opposite model for themselves. They will say that everything good that happens to them is thanks to themselves, and everything bad that happens is due to external factors, be it family, friends, parents, society, health, the world, whatever it might be. They'll always be using the victim mentality for the negative side, but then they'll be saying the good things are thanks to them. One trick they play with people is when they start a relationship, they might say that all of the positive things actually are due to you and all the negative things are due to people around you. This then helps alienate you from your loved ones, but at one point they start shifting. It's very weird to see this happen because we don't understand why someone who was so clear and so right that all the good things were thanks to us and all the bad things were thanks to other people suddenly changed their tune. So we assume that they're good judges of character, but they're anything but that. And this shift is another way to gaslight people. Now, if we use this model, we can actually identify what I see as being the most productive and the most helpful way of seeing the world, which is to have a slight focus on the internal side. Of course, acknowledging the external part, but trying to place more focus on the internal. What is it that we can control? Without going to the extreme. If we blame ourselves too much, we should probably tone it down a bit. But if we can focus to some extent on what we can control, we can make something better. Most people I work with tend to have a very strong external focus, and if we can move them a bit to the internal side, things tend to improve. Shouldn't be extreme, just a bit to the internal side. And everyone's balance is individual. Your balance won't be the same as mine, but I suggest trying to triangulate until you find the right balance. Always remember, you have external factors in life and internal factors. How you weight them is sort of irrelevant. The question is, do you focus on unfairness, or do you prefer to focus on things you can control without being too harsh on yourself? I'll let you find your balance. I trust you're going to find it. Now, if we're dealing with a narcissist, it can be infuriating because they keep shifting. So I suggest, first of all, try to identify with positive events where they place themselves and with negative events where they place themselves. Once you find a contradiction, it's easier to not get sucked into the debate. But if you are in the debate, maybe simply just ask a question and say something like, I don't understand, I'm confused. When I listen to you, it seems that all the good things that happen are due to you because you're brilliant and amazing and unstoppable. But then when bad things happen, it seems like there's nothing you can do, so I don't understand. Which is it? Are you unstoppable and brilliant, or are you simply a victim of circumstance? Let them try to explain, and then I suggest not engaging, not arguing, just shrugging your shoulders and saying, I'm confused, I don't understand, I don't know what to think. The more you talk, the more confused I am. If you can stop this assault of word salad, if you can avoid getting sucked into the pointless debates, then maybe you stand more of a chance of exiting these situations and stop going crazy.